Okay. All right. So I'm just taking my phone out of the way. So get comfortable. 2 seconds. Let's see. My yoga challenge, the aloe one. Today's pose is an arm balance, and the concept is wisdom. I'm talking about women and honoring women for this month. And I started to think about the concept of wisdom. And I happen to have a birthday coming up. It's actually a week from today. And I don't really think about how old I am, but because that would be a frightening thought. But the concept of wisdom, I really had to think about it before I made this post. And honestly, you know, as we get older, of course, with all of the experiences that we've lived through, we start to become a little bit more wise, a little bit more patient, not really expecting or holding too tightly onto plans or expectations of how something's going to turn out. Because when it doesn't, you know, then we're in either a rage, or we're frustrated, or we're at a loss, or we're finding that we're struggling to make things work. And when we are wiser, I just found like a certain type of acceptance or mellowness, so to speak, in whatever comes our way. We accept that as is. And then we start to bob and weave and ebb and flow and fit ourselves into whatever shape comes our way. So just think of the wisdom that you possess, and you do. And I find that as time goes on, and in different people that I've known in different circumstances, it's like the woman is the voice of reason. The woman is the calm in the storm, where the wisdom really comes, you know, to fruition in situations that aren't exactly expected or planned or easily welcomed, right? So we're going to embrace our wisdom. And Saraswati was the goddess of education, creativity, music, and ultimately wisdom, because we learn as we go. We learn through all of our experiences. And, you know, I'm not in the crypt yet, so I'm still learning, I'm still experiencing, I'm still kind of testing the waters, but there's a little bit more of a trust in my gut, in my instinct, and just allowing your moves to create like a ripple effect, and then sit back and wait to see what comes back to you, as opposed to trying to control everything, which we do when we're young, right? We do crazy things. And it's not to say we don't do crazy things when we're older, but we're a little bit more, more mellow when we do it. And the chances that we take have a little bit more of an educated guess, as opposed to throwing caution to the wind. So let's bring the hands to prayer. And then bring your thumbs up to your third eye. So right in between the eyebrows. Take a full breath in. Open your mouth side out, let it go. And then we're channeling all of that wisdom that we've accumulated over the years. And that's not to say that young people aren't wise, but it's like a baby. It needs to be developed, that wisdom fine-tuned, so to speak. So when we start to see things in that figurative third eye, through what we know, through our experience, there's an ease and a trust. And bring your prayer down to your heart. We'll take a cleansing breath in through the nose. Open your mouth, let it go, side out. Let's breathe in for Om. Open your eyes. Namaste. All right, let's take our wise butts to the mat. Let's start your playlist, which is Saraswati. That's why I threw her into the mix. Let's start in a plank pose. So spread the fingers wide. As I said, I haven't warmed up either, so I'm right with you in the warm up. And then we'll bend the knees, bring your hips towards your heels, coming to a floating child pose. Tuck your chin way into your chest, but press down into the palms. Lift your heels a little higher and try to get your thighs to touch your ribs. So we're getting round in the spine. Push the floor away. So now we'll draw the navel in and come to a cat back. So now the ribs lift up off of the legs. Now from here, we'll straighten the legs and we'll come forward to plank. Take your time and press into the tips of the fingers. Maybe we roll a little farther forward. We'll kind of flirt with rolling over the toes. And then we'll pull this back to a floating child's pose. We'll do that one more time. Take breath in this time. Lift your chest, lift your head, lift your tailbone. So it's more of a cow back. And then we'll come to that cat. Heels go up. Chin comes all the way to the chest, and we pull the ribs off the thighs. Engage through the tips of the fingers so we're not collapsing in the shoulders. Press down all the way through the base of the palm. And then bring yourself back into a plank. Now we'll lower the knees. Child's pose. Keep the lengthening, keep crawling your fingertips towards the front edge of the mat. You can float up onto the fingertips. Then imagine the hips drawing back towards your toes. We're not sinking down into the heels. We're reaching back. Slide your left hand back towards your left knee, and we'll find a twist here, lifting just enough to feel the ribs slide across the thighs. And we can move the head here anyway. Find a little sway in the shoulder. Yeah, so the fingertips are plugged down. And then reach your left hand to meet your right. Press down into your palms. Start to lift your chest and your gaze, and we'll bring the forearms down. So as the forearms come down, we have this rotation where the creases of the elbows are facing up towards the ceiling. Now come forward onto your knees. Take breath in, cow. Breath out, cat. So we're in this tabletop on the forearms. Get good and broad here across the shoulder blades. Feel the strength of the abdominals. Keep pushing and pulling. And then we'll sit back down, child's pose. Walk your fingertips forward. Slide your right fingertips in line with your right knee. And we'll find that nice, easy twist over to the right side. Lift your left palm so be able to rotate through the left shoulder. And then reach with your right hand. Bring the palms down, lift the fingers up. So your palms are lifting now. Spread the fingers wide and reconnect to the hands. We'll come forward into tabletop. Float the knees 2 inches, 3 inches, a few inches off of the mat. Take a little bounce here. We'll come forward to plank pose. So feel the wrist, then press into the tips of the fingers. We'll take a little pressure out. And then from here, we'll come to downward facing dog. So if your feet are together, you can space them apart. And then find whatever movement here feels good. So add the arms there. We can bend the arms. We can even drop the forearms down as we pedal out the legs. Never collapsing in the shoulder. Use the opposite arm to take the brunt of the weight and to stay engaged. And then we'll find a down dog. Come to stillness. Let's lift the right leg. Bend your knee to release through the hip. And then we'll open this up on the right side. Press up onto the tips of the fingers. Take your head under your right arm. Lift your heel, lift your right knee a little higher. Now we'll spiral here. Stay high on the right fingertips. Pull your right knee around towards your right shoulder, right tricep. Your hips are still high. Ooh. Now we'll bring the right foot in between the hands, coming down to a low lunge. Nice. And then we'll make a fist with the right hand and flare out the fingers. We're just on the fingertips. That's pretty much weight there. You do with both hands. And then take the arms up over. Roll back to a cactus shape and connect your fingertips to your shoulders so we can make circles here. It's not just the elbow that's traveling. We're engaging through the shoulder blades. Find that retraction as the elbows move back. Open the chest. And then find that open position. Wing the arms out. Maybe drop your head back. Breath in, take the arms up overhead and interlace your fingers. We'll raise the knuckles up. Lift the shoulders. Find the rotation through the shoulder joint as we're coming up. we can roll back and then down. So if the shoulders are down and we just reach back, we're limited in that range of movement. Lift all the way up, circle back. And we'll bring it forward, framing the right foot. Top the left toes, and we'll take a twisted lunge here, lifting the right arm. And then reach your right hand back behind you. We'll push up onto the left fingertips. You can lift the chest a little bit. Swing your right arm up over your head. We'll come to a pyramid. Fingertips come down to the outside of the right foot. Keep your back heel up. Lift your right toes up. And then lengthen here. Come forward. So the crown of the head reaches forward as the right hip pulls back. Any extra movement you want to take. And then we'll fold. Toes stay high. Heels stay high. Now press down into your hand. Navel to spine, cat back. Hips are up there. See if you can swing your right leg out to the right side. And then find the rotation through the hip, down dog split. Yeah, kick over your furniture, good. We'll come forward to plank pose, drop your right foot down to meet your left. Shift forward into the tips of the fingers, and on the breath out, we'll lower everything down to the mat. Take your time here. Bhujangasana, low cobra. Exhale, release. Take your fingertips off your mat. So we'll come to those spider arms with the elbows pointing up. Retract through the shoulder blades, let your head hang. So before we bring this up into a cobra, extend out through the toes. Draw the kneecaps up. And we lift. Mount yourself down. Plant your hands to the mat, thumbs in line with the chest. Bring your feet together to touch. We'll come up into a cobra. And then pull the elbows in towards the ribs. We're going to lift up into an up dog. We're not just going up, we're going forward with the chest. So the feet will slide forward as we push up. Down dog. And then you can fix your mat if it's got a little wrinkle in it and you pull your feet up. Take a full breath in. Full breath out. Lift your left leg. We'll open up the hip here. So even though the foot is reaching back behind you, the knee continues to travel up towards the ceiling. Tent up onto the left fingertips, and we'll find a bit of a twist here, looking underneath the left arm. A lot of times I have you look over the shoulder. We're going underneath this time. And lift your right heel. Let's pull the left knee around towards the left shoulder. We'll take the gaze towards the front edge of the mat. We're still in that dog shape. And then we'll pull the thigh into the chest, step your left foot in between your hands. Low lunge on you. Release the left hand, make a fist, flare out the fingers. Right hand joins the party, untop the back toes. Take the hands up overhead and then interlace. Breath in, we lift, we shrug. Pull the navel in, we can sit up a bit, and then draw the arms back. So we're still scissoring the inner thighs, we're still active in the legs, even though we're concentrating on the shoulders and the chest. And everything works. Press down through the sole of the left foot, top of the right foot. And then right from here, we'll cactus the arms. Now open it up like wings. Sweep the arms up overhead on the breath in. We'll bring the hands down to frame the left foot, twisted lunge. Push up onto your right fingertips and reach your left hand back behind you. And then notice if the hips are traveling over to the left side, bring it back to the midline. So lift your chin off your chest, we're nice and long here. Let the left arm travel overhead and we'll shift into pyramid, flexing the left toes. Breath in, lift your chest. Pull your left hip back. Breath out, we can come forward to fold. Press down through the palms. Cat back. So we're getting really broad across the shoulder blades. You need to be able to lift that heel. So push the floor away from you. And then we'll take the left leg out to the left side. Travel back, down dog, split. Chest comes back to the thigh. Tuck your chin into your chest, give your head a little shake. And then the left foot meets the right, we'll come into a plank pose. Knees, chest, chin, or Chaturanga, whichever you prefer. Cobra, upward facing dog. Breathe in. Breath out, down dog. And lift up onto the tips of the fingers, balls of the feet, heels go high. Bend your knees, let your ribs connect to your thighs, tuck your chin into your chest. Now with bent knees, we're going to walk the feet forward. Keep the connection of the thighs and the ribs. Trust yourself. There's all that wisdom. We've done this a million times. Now straighten the legs, but keep the connection of the ribs to the thighs. Walk your hands back past your heels. Fingertips are still on the floor. And then eventually we'll bring the hands to the heels. And we'll find a balance here. So notice your gaze, it comes slightly ahead of the toes. Ribs are still connected to the thighs. Lower the heels, chair pose, Utkatasana with control. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, high prayer. Exhale, Samastiti, prayer of the heart. Breath in, high prayer, arms high. Breath out, forward fold, Uttanasana. We'll lengthen on the breath in. Breath out, step backward, float, Vinyasa. Breathe. Bring your feet together to touch, lift your heels, soften your knees, take your gaze forward. So shift forward before you shift back. And then make your way to the top of the mat. You can walk or float. Breath in to get long. Breath out to fold. And then stay in your fold. Heel toe your feet. Cast your hands right to the edges of the mat. And then with heels down, sway your hips from side to side and your shoulders. You can even bring the elbows to touch the shins or the ankles as you're twisting. Yeah. So the fold might get deeper here. Now let's lift the heels and the toes, and we'll sway from side to side. So same thing. So the spin might get a little broader. And then we'll work our way down into Malasana. Yeah, we ease into this hip opener, this is a big one. Just make sure that the feet are good, the ankles are good, the knees are good, hips are good. And then we'll bring the forearms down. So as the forearms come down, we're not leaning into the balls of the feet, bringing the weight to the forearms. We pull the weight back even farther into the heels. Drop your butt. Yeah, drop your head. And then in the same position, just straighten the arms, crawl the fingertips forward. So even though we're reaching forward with the fingertips, we're pulling back in the hips, and the knees are going out to the right and left. And then bring the hands to a prayer at the heart, triceps to the inner thighs. And roll up, lift the chin away from the chest. And keeping the legs active as you inhale, float your prayer up overhead. Look up and see your hands. Now from here, we'll draw the arms back until you don't see your hands anymore. Exhale, fold, nice and deep. Parallel the toes to the wrists. Rock forward so there's more weight in your hands, and then your feet lift up onto the tips of the toes. Float or hop your feet together. Breath in, lengthen. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Sweep the arms overhead, high prayer, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold. Breath in, lengthen. Breath out, Vinyasa. Step or float it back. Take a full breath in, flutter out the lips on the breath out. Move your head, your jaws, your eyebrows. All right, let's lift the right leg. We'll step forward in between the hands. Let's stay here in your lunge. Wrap your right hand around your right calf. Keep your chest connected to your thigh. Extend the left fingertips forward and we can float right into a standing split. So it's more about the fold over the right leg. And you can reposition your left hand if you want to bring it back, bring it out to the side, wherever you can find your balance. And then see if you can take your gaze up toward your left foot. And we'll soften the left knee, release your right calf, bring your right hand out to the right side. And we'll swing the left knee around towards the left shoulder. So we'll catch the knee. It's like a hydrant pose. Like Ardha Chandrasana with twist. Yes. So keep hiking the knee up. Lean over into your right hand. Start to turn your chest. Maybe you'll take your gaze up to the ceiling. Nice. Now we'll step the left foot back behind the right. Little twisted Shiva here, little curtsy. Take a twist in the opposite side, bringing the left hand down, right arm floats up. And then allow yourself to feel that right hip, IT band. You can take this low, you can swing the hips over to the right side to feel a little bit more in the hips. And lay the right arm back. And plant your left palm a little closer to your right foot. We'll step back with the left foot. Spin to the outer edges of the feet. So we have a side plank variation with the hip going up. I don't have my back to. So as opposed to letting those hips drop down, we have all that weight dumping into the left wrist. Lift the right arm. Press into the edges of the feet. Look up for your right hand. Then we can bring the right foot on top of the left. Now we have our side plank. We'll continue to lift the hips up. Take your right arm over your right ear. So the fingertips are facing the floor. We have this little arch shape. And then step your right foot back behind your left. It'll be on the ball of the foot. And we'll turn to the back of the, I won't even say the mat, it'll be off the side. Have a seat. So don't scoot yourself back to the center. I'll get you back there. Left hand pushes you forward, right arm reaches. And we can come to Marichiasana. You want to take the bind around the right shin. Left hand comes around the back. And we fold over the left leg. So you want to get nice and low before you take the bind. So you're more towards the ankle as opposed to the top of the knee. And then you'll find rotation, rolling the right shoulder forward, flipping your palm up towards the ceiling. So you can wrap your arm around the right leg. Let's release the bind and roll up. And then lower your right knee for Janu Shirshasana legs. Left forearm will come down parallel to your right shin. And then we'll take a side stretch, reaching the right arm over your ear. So don't worry about reaching that foot because you're on a slight angle anyway. You're not as wide. We want to open up the ribs, lift your chin off the chest. So you're facing the ceiling and you're pushing out of the left arm to find your twist. There's a lift before the rotation. Nice. We'll bring the right hand back down behind us and shift into stargazer, pushing up onto the right shin, sweeping the left arm long overhead. Let your arm travel back a little bit more. The shoulder will allow it. You can even connect your fingertips behind your head, give a little extra neck support here. And then turn your gaze to the left. Yeah. And then we'll release and have a seat. Cross your right foot over your left leg. So again, my back is going to be to you just so you can see what we're doing here. Lower down on your left forearm and roll onto your left hip. Right hand is going to reach for the left foot. So you're still sitting. Now press out of the left arm, lift your left leg up. So we're basically rolling back. Get the leg nice and high. And then we'll lower down. I'm going to turn to you. I don't want to confuse you. Okay. So you're down on the forearm. You hold on to the foot. So we're low here, so we have the opportunity, the ability to reach the foot or the ankle or the calf of that left leg. And then press into the forearm, lift the leg, lay back. Foot off the floor. There it is. Beautiful. Now bring it back down. Now the chest is going to stay just as low. We'll press up onto the left palm. So bring it out to the left side a little bit. Chest is low. Lift your left foot, press into your right, lift your butt. So you're in a baby grasshopper. We're not lifting the chest is low. Good. Now we'll press into that right foot, come all the way to stand and then switch your grip. Right hand comes down and we'll reconnect to the left knee again with the left hand. So finding that hip opener. And then we'll step this down into goddess. So if you need to adjust the right foot, you'll step towards the back edge of the mat a little bit. Nice. Breath in, flying warrior, parallel the toes, high prayer, look up, see your hands. Breath out, warrior two to the front of your mat. Peaceful warrior breath in. And then reach your left fingertips back towards your right shoulder. Yeah, you can lift your chin, have a little bit more of a shoulder opener there. We'll come to extended side angle. Nice. Now just look down at your left foot and we'll heel toe it to the left edge of the mat. So we're going wide here in the stance. Lift your right heel. We'll shift this into a lizard pose. Continue to reach forward with the right fingertip. So grab the front edge of the mat. Take your left arm underneath your left leg. Plug into those fingertips. And now we're in a lizard. Full extension here. You can drop your head down. Look at your right foot. So you're spinning your heel. Nice. Reach your left hand forward to meet your right. Bring your right fingertips back. So we're not going to pick up any momentum. We're not bending the knee. The leg stays straight. Reach a little farther with the left fingertips. Navel to spine. We'll slide the right foot. Lift the right hip. Step into Vinyasa. That's it. Hip goes high. Beautiful. One breath. Raise your prayer up overhead. Breath out. We'll come forward to full. Bring your forearms down. Drop your head. See how far your hips are from the floor. And as opposed to lifting up to get the forearms down, bring your hips down. So let gravity help. And then we'll bring the hands down. Turn the toes to face the wrists. Knees can fit nicely into the armpits. We come into crow pose. Then any variation here. Into Vinyasa when you're ready. Nice. Take your time. Full breath in. Full breath out. Lift the left leg. Lift your right heel, go nice and high here. And step your left foot forward in between your hands. Thigh connects to the ribs. Wrap your left hand around your calf. We'll come into a standing split. So fold before you worry about the right leg. It'll happen. It'll lift. And then wherever you're comfortable with your your right fingertips, bringing them forward, maybe out to the side. We're bringing the nose towards the shin or the forehead towards the shin, and we're looking up for the right foot. We'll soften the right knee, release the left calf, bring the fingertips out to the left side. Touch hold of your right knee. We open it up to the right side. So we can even take the right hand underneath the knee to lift up towards the ceiling and spiral the chest and find a bit of a twist. So now we're pushing out of the left fingertips, feeling those groins big time. And we'll soften and we'll step this back into a twisted Shiva. Right fingertips come down once the ball of the foot lands, and then we open it up on the left side. Let your right hand step back with your right foot. Roll to the outer edges of the feet. We're still lifting up with the left arm. Take your gaze up. Hips are going high. Reaching, and then we take this into a side plank, stacking the left foot on top of the right. Lift up so we can make an arc. Think of the ribs going up to the ceiling. Take the left arm over your ear. And then reach your fingertips towards the floor. Yeah. So you're pressing into your right hand a little bit more. Then we'll just step back with the left foot. Spin to face the back of the mat. We'll have a seat. Push out of your right fingertips. Reach forward with the left hand. So we're already folding over the right leg. We'll roll the left shoulder forward so we can come to bind in Vinyasa. Right hand comes back. So if you don't find the right hand connecting to the left, you can bring your right hand to your right foot. We'll take half a bind. We'll release, lift the chest, lower the knee to the left side, sole the foot to the inner thigh. Right forearm parallel to the left shin, so the forearm comes down. And start to twist from here. Your left hand can come to your sacrum. You're lifting away from the floor, spiral the chest. Maybe you take your gaze up towards the ceiling and float the left arm overhead. And then with the thumb, swing back a bit. You can take your hand behind your head. Give a little lift here. Push out of the right forearm and keep your right foot active. You're either flexing the foot or pointing the toes. You choose. Release the left hand. Stargazer, left hand comes down. Push up onto the shin. Be careful of your furniture or the walls. Lay this back. Then we can bring these fingertips to the back of the head. So lift. So anytime you want to add that, give a little extra support for the neck. Or maybe open the shoulder just a bit more. And then we'll release it. We'll come back down to the floor. Turn to your right side, cross your left foot over your right. You can even pick it up with your hand to deliver it. And then we'll get low. So we're rolling onto the right hip. We're dropping the chest down towards the floor. Yeah. Now reach your left hand to your right foot. Yeah, come down on your right forearm. That's it. Now lift your foot, lay back. And then lower down. So bring your chest forward a little bit more. Yeah, don't lift your chest. So your chest is going to stay low as you lift your foot, as opposed to laying back. Keep your chest down, and then you can lift. There you go. And then lower your heel. Now press into your right hand. Keep your chest just as low, so the right arm will bend. And walk your right hand as wide as you need to get a little bit more leverage here. Lift your right foot. Lift your butt. So the thigh rolls up the back of the calf. Yeah, your left shoulder's in front of your left shin. Now we'll push this all the way up. Left hand comes down, catch hold of your right knee. And find that hip opener. Yes. Nice. So be on your left fingertips. We're not sinking down. We're lifting up. So we can get that right leg a little higher. And then we'll step this into goddess. So as the right foot comes down, you can step the left foot back so we have space. Let's get a little lower here. Rough in, flying warrior. Rough out, warrior 2 to the top of the mat. You're on your right leg now. Peace. Let your right fingertips connect to your left shoulder. And drop your head back. Let your left hand be a little lighter. It might come a little closer towards the ankle. So you're not in your way and stopping yourself. Extended side angle. Look down at your right foot. Walk it to the edge of the mat. So your right hand is going to stay where it is. Yeah. Now we have enough room so we can spiral onto the ball of the left foot, shifting into lizard. Left hand continues to reach forward. Right arm can thread underneath the right leg. The shoulders and the hips are even with each side. So we're not in that open shape in an extended angle. And look back at your left foot. Make sure the heel is in the middle and it's not drooping over. We're on the ball of the foot. Bring your right hand forward where your left hand is. We'll walk the left hand back a little bit. Yeah. And draw the navel into the spine. Reach forward, lift the hip. Maybe the foot comes up off the floor. Right into Malasana. Prayer at the heart. Nice little change on this side. Let's come down to sit. Come into an assisted boat pose where you can wrap the arms around the hamstring. So hold the thighs close to the chest. And we can walk that up a little bit. Extend the legs. So now if you find there's any rounding of the spine, lengthen here. Now if you're feeling it, maybe bring your hands up to your calves. Wiggle the ribs up the thighs a little bit. And stay long in the spine. So you have the assist, you're holding your legs. Now let's take the legs wide. We're not losing the connection of the ribs to the thighs. We're just finding a little bit of a straddle here. Now we did this the other day when we took a little bit of a back roll. You have room for that, right? And we're going to roll over one shoulder. Press your hands into the floor so you can lift yourself up. So nothing's getting squashed here. We'll release the hands. We'll rock this back. Roll over one shoulder. Land in hero. I did this in the studio. It was very entertaining. Yes, you have your bed there to keep you in the center. Fantastic. Hero pose. Take the arms up overhead. We'll wing the arms back. We'll connect to the heels and shift right into camel. So the knees will be a little wider here. And then if you prefer to tuck the toes under to raise the heels a little bit, you'll do that. Or keep the feet flat and allow the pelvis to shift forward. And sit back down on the heels. Bring your hands right in front of you, tuck your toes, bring your feet together. We'll float the knees. And then walk the hands back. Let's come into a diver. Hips go high, heels are high. You're looking towards the front edge of the mat. Now, instead of reaching the arms back, we're going to reach the arms forward. So we'll take that little trust fall using our wisdom, how well we know ourselves, how well we trust ourselves, and come right into Vinyasa. So that's a true dive and diver. Big breath in. Open your mouth, let it go. Let's lift the right leg. Step in between the hands, catch hold of the calf, standing split. Now, if you prefer to bring the hands down to the floor, lift your right heel. You'll lean into the tips of the fingers. Maybe you'll take a little hop up into an arm balance. Or if you want to play with a little tick-tock here, you can bring the foot down and take another hop. So wherever you are. Now from your standing split, or if you're on your hands, you'll bring your right foot back down. Right fingertips reach out to the right side and swing the left knee towards the shoulder, but we'll grab the foot this time. Then we'll extend the leg. So you're not just going out to the side, you're lifting the foot up. So there's a twist. Nice. And then we'll transition into a twisted Shiva. It'll be a little deeper this time. Ball the foot comes down and let's catch the left tricep to the outside of the right thigh. So just imagine the elbow being aligned with the left knee. Now your right arm can reach back behind you. Maybe you'll catch the inner thigh. Maybe you'll bring your hand to your waist. Back of the hand feels more comfortable. And allow the knees to bend as much as feels comfortable here. Left fingertips can guide the right shoulder to lift up. We get the ribs out of the way. We can lay this back. But now grabbing the inner thigh is a little bit more accessible. Then bring your left hand down. We'll step the left foot back and come into side plank Vashisthasana. We'll come right into it. So if there's anything fancy you want to take here, coming into a split, maybe catching hold of your foot. Maybe coming into tree. So it's your side plank. Now take your time. We'll step this back into rock star. With control, the foot comes down. Lift the pelvis, find the neck bend. And we'll pick up where we left off. Let's have a seat right into Vinyasa. You'll be on the edge of the mat. Let it happen. Lift your chest, Janu Shashasana legs. Left forearm comes down to the mat. Right arm travels over here. Connect your fingertips to the back of the head. Give a little extra lift here. Thumb can sit underneath your jaw. Press out of the left forearm. And then we'll lift this. Right hand comes down, stargazer. Left hand can come to the back of the head. Give yourself a lift and turn your gaze to the left. Bring yourself all the way down. Roll into your left hip, cross your right foot over your left thigh. We'll get low. Reach for the foot with your right hand. Adjust the left. So put it where you know you can lift. Lift the foot first. Keep your chest low, lift your hips. Yeah, so the chest is down, so the hips can come up. Beautiful. Now press into the right foot. We'll bring this up to stand. With a straight leg, transfer the foot into the left hand. And we'll find that side lift. Okay. Now keep your leg where it is. Drop both hands down. We'll pull the left knee towards the left shoulder, lift your right heel. And just lean into your hands. You don't have to get up. If you feel it, the right foot might float up. If not, just stay there and lean. So you're pulling your left shin forward toward your dresser. Yes, keep coming forward. Lift your right heel. Beautiful. Just to get the feeling, just to get the shift. And we're a little lighter on the right foot. And we can align the hips over the shoulders a little bit more so the right foot gets a little lighter. And then we'll step this down. Goddess. Yes. Breath in, high prayer. Breath out, warrior two, top of the mat. Peace. Extended side angle. Then we can find a bind here. Wrap your right arm around your back. So as that right arm is traveling back, the left arm is keeping that knee from collapsing forward. So just be aware. Then we can come to a full bind. Nice. Look at your left foot, little change. We'll walk the right foot up to meet the left. So your right foot can be behind the left. So we're coming to a bird of paradise variation with a forward fold. So we'll shift the weight into the right foot so we can lift the left. And then use the arms to hike the knee up. Instead of kicking out to the side, we'll kick forward. And then we'll stay in that fold. So your right leg will straighten. Nice. Yes. Keep lifting your butt. Hike the hip up. Use the strength of the arms and come to fold. You got it. Yes. Spectacular. And then we'll reverse our steps. The left foot will come down. Stay in the bind. Step your right foot back. 1 step or 10. Doesn't matter. And then we'll heel toe the left foot over to the left side. So now we'll come into that lizard shape. I'm just going to move my whole body so I don't crash into the wall. Now from here, we'll release the bind of the hands. Frame the left foot. Your left arm is underneath the leg. Push into the mat. Lift your left heel. Find that cat back. Your hips will lift a bit. So your right heel will go up. So the hips aren't down towards the floor. We can get a little lighter here. We'll kick the left foot forward and lean into your Pada Vinyasa. Nice. Now see if you can keep your left leg straight. Right foot comes back down. Down dog split, left leg goes high. And then we'll bring this right into pigeon pose. Nice. And then adjust. I was in a class this week where the teacher said, get your shin parallel to the top of the mat. That's a really old cue. Some bodies are not made for that. So if it feels better in your knee to bring your heel a little closer to your groin, that's what we'll do. And you can still bring that right hip forward and the left hip back. So we're not collapsing into the left butt cheek. And then we'll push up onto the tips of the fingers, take breath in. You can adjust yourself here. Breath out, we come forward to fold. We'll take a sleeping pigeon. Right ear will come down to the mat. So it'll be the opposite of whichever knee is bent. Now, if you're feeling it here, curl your hamstring, the right leg, of course, and then we can reach back and maybe connect to the foot. Now, as you do this, you're releasing the shoulders and the chest a little bit more. You might need to adjust the placement of the head. So bring your head forward just a bit. And then everything can just release. I'm just going to turn my head, but you're going to keep your right down to the floor. Nice. Now, if you have the foot, we'll open the hamstring and the strength of the leg. We'll pull the shoulders back and lift the chest. Yes. And if holding the ankle is a bit much, you can grab the shin, or maybe the toe, or maybe the pant leg, whatever it is. You draw the shoulders back. Now we'll release the foot, swing the leg over and catch it with your left hand. Utthita Hasta, Padangusthasana. C, as we're seated. Reach your right arm back. Reach your right arm over your head and we'll reconnect to the arch side of the foot. And then swing the legs. So we're making a little arc. We're going to turn to the side of the mat. Catch hold of your left foot, wide-legged boat. Yeah, have a little bit more room here. Nice. Let's let go of the feet, but nothing changes. Take the arms up overhead. Plant your feet down to the floor. Wiggle your butt back a little bit so you can get long in the spine. Keep the arms up, framing the ears. And if you like, we can hook the thumbs. Yeah. So the shoulders are secondary here to the hips. Let's drop the knees over to the right side. Wrap your left arm around your torso, your waist. Take your right hand behind you and reach the fingertips towards your shoulder. Drop your head back. And then we'll come back through center, reconnect your thumbs. The knees come to the middle. You're rolling on the sit bones. Drop the knees over to the left side. Lift up. Return to spiral the chest towards the back. Wrap your left arm. Take your right hand, shoulder, way back. Let's switch that. Right arm across the torso. Left hand to the shoulder. Ah, so much better. And then we'll come back to center. Bring your hands down close to your inner thighs, almost to the groins. Your thumbs might almost touch. We'll lift the legs. So lean back a little bit. You might be on the fingertips to get the legs up. This is perfect right where you are. Now we'll lean forward, bring the weight into the hands. Lift the legs, lift the hips, and have a seat. Right in between. That's it. Lift your butt. We'll do that one more time. Lift up. And then we'll take the legs wide so we're on the hands. Do you have room? Yeah, this is good. When space is limited. And then we could bring the forearms down. So we're coming into a center split. If your toes are rolling forward, we're going to lift them up towards the ceiling. Bring a little bit more weight into the forearms. You can even rock the hips up off of the floor. And then once you're there, we lengthen. That's it. So just have a seat in a wide straddle. You can always adjust from there. That's good. I like the limited space. So you can't come too far forward. Beautiful. Then drop your butt and turn your toes up to face the ceiling, wherever you are. Sit back, sit back, sit back, sit back, back. Push up onto the tips of the fingers, lift your chest. You're not done yet. I like the bed behind your back. So lean into it. And then take your thumbs to the inner thighs. Take your 4 fingers, 8 altogether, around the outer thigh and roll this back. So you have some outward rotation of the legs. You can point the toes or flex the feet. But just notice if your toes are coming forward, you're collapsing into it. So we want to open that up. Nice. You're going to slide your hands to the backs of the knees. Lean back and we'll soften. So start to slouch a little bit. So you can bring the soles of the feet together coming into Baddha Konasana. It's less shocking, and we take a little rock side to side. Nice. Let's scoop the knees up, bring them together. We'll lift the feet. Now bring your hands to your hips. We'll lift, turn to face the front of your mat. Feet never touch the floor. Boat pose. And now from here, we'll rock this back. Just use the momentum and come into Vinyasa. We got a nice little stretch here, a little pause, and then rock it up, step it back, float it back. Nice. Big breath in. Big breath out. Let's lift the left leg. Step forward, standing split. Catch hold of the calf. More about the fold and the lift of the right leg. That'll happen. If you're lifting your chest, it's hard to get the leg high. Nice. You want to take a few hops, plant your palms, keep extending the right leg up. Lift your left heel, lean into it, and then you can float it. So even if you're just lifting an inch up off the floor, let yourself shift so you don't rely on a big kick. And then we'll release, left fingertips come down, swing the right leg over to the right side. If you want to bend it first, absolutely do that. And then we'll extend the legs straight. And then turn your chest, turn your gaze. Soften as we come to twisted Shiva, right foot behind the left. Find the bind. And give yourself a moment here. Let yourself feel the ribs. So we're lifting up a little bit. Use the strength of the right arm so we can spiral. Left hand comes back behind you. Maybe you're at the inner thigh. Right fingertips come to the chest. And take this as low or as high as feels comfortable for you. Just be aware of your left knee. Yes. And bring your right hand down. We'll step this back, Vashisthasana, right foot comes back. Whatever you want to do with that left leg. Nice. Rock star with control. Let's lower down to sit facing the back of the mat. Marichyasana. Let's lift up Jana Shashasana legs. Right forearm down, side stretch, left arm over. So we're not reaching for the foot. Connect your hand behind your head if you like that. Stargazing. Again, you connect the fingertips behind the head. That feels good. Or maybe extend the arm out. Maybe even reach for your right hamstring. And then drop your head back. Play around with it. And then we'll come to sit and roll into the right hip. Right hand comes down, even though we're lowering the chest, we're off the forearm. We know where we're going with this. Press your left foot over your right. Catch hold of the right foot. Chest stays low. So we truly look like a grasshopper. And then we lift the hips, lift the leg. Left shoulder's in front of the left shin. Chest stays forward. You got it. And just watch your head on the way up. We'll come up, the legs stay straight. Catch hold of the right toes with the right hand. Ardha Chandrasana with a twist. Tilted straddle. Call it what you will. And then keep the leg up there. We'll drop the right hand down, the left hand comes down. Bring your right knee to your right shoulder, lift your left heel, so feel the hips come up. And then maybe the left leg will float up because we align the hips. Even if the leg doesn't come up, you're just getting a little lighter. So pull your knee forward more. Lift your left heel higher. Trust yourself. Your head's on that bed. Use it. Lean into it and get your left foot up off the floor. There's no kick, it's a lean. So navel into the spine, think about your hips coming forward. Yes, yes, yes. Now come forward more. Forward with the knee, like you're climbing up onto your shoulder. Good. All right, we'll step this down. And we'll come into Goddess meets Malasana. So we'll get a little lower here. Prayer to your heart. Good. Flying warrior, breath in. Warrior 2 to the front of the mat, breath out. Bring your right foot this time. Peace. Extended signing. Put your left arm back for a half bind. Full bind if you want. And then lay back. Give yourself a moment here. Stay in the pose for a few rounds of breath. We're laying back and I'm just pulling on the left shoulder. Whole torso is in on the action. Nice. And then look at your right foot. We'll bring the left foot up. I don't like to bring my feet parallel. That's just me. So whatever you feel in here, I usually step behind the right heel. So you can lean back into your left foot to shift the weight out of the right. So we're keeping the fold. We're taking that funky version of Bird of Paradise. So we're using the arms to lift the hip. And then we'll kick this forward. We're still in our forward fold. So you can essentially look underneath your right leg. Yes. Beautiful. And then take your time with control. Right foot comes back down. Step back into your bound angle. And we'll move the right foot so we can shift. Lizard. So you'll be in a bound lizard. Release the bind, frame your right foot, lift the left heel. Start to straighten the arms, the right heel's going up, broad across the shoulder blades. So we're up there. Now as we lean forward, we kick the right foot and use that bit of momentum. Float that up. Ekapada Vinyasa. Yes. And then we'll come to a down dog split. Left foot comes down. Keep the right leg straight. Take it all the way up. Pigeon pose on the release. Inhale, lift your chest. And just get settled. You just came out of an arm balance. We come forward to fold. And we're not getting round here. Just imagine your chest coming forward past your calf. So maybe the ribs will touch the calf. And then we'll release the arms back behind us so there's no pressure on the shoulders. Drop your left ear down. And the option of curling the hamstring, reach back for your foot. Now if you have the foot, the shoulders come back down. Maybe come onto your chin. Just make sure you're not pinching the back of your neck. Maybe your third eye comes down if you don't like to turn your head. So you always modify shape, what feels better in your body. Now open the hamstrings. You're kicking your foot into your hands. Release the twist in the head. And we start to lift. Super slow motion. So yes, you're pressing out of your right leg, but you're drawing the shoulders back. Use the left leg to lead the pose. Lead that transition. And maybe drop your head back. And then we'll release the leg. Swing it around. Tita Hasta seat. We can hold this balance so much easier than standing on the feet. Reach your left arm over your head and connect to your foot. Find that arc through the hip. We're lifting up. Now we're turning to the side of the mat again. Wide-legged boat. Make sure you have balance between the sit bones. So if you're leaning more so into one side, you're going to be lopsided. Yes. Let's let go of the feet. Nice. Bring your feet down. And we'll come forward to fold with the forearms. So as the chest is coming forward, wiggle your butt back a little bit. Yeah, knees stay bent. We're coming into a turtle. Little tortoise pose. So we'll take the left arm underneath the left leg. You can adjust and bring your left heel back a little bit, drop your left shoulder a little bit by using your right arm. It's easier the wider your feet are. And then we'll get underneath that right side. So you can wiggle the butt, you can hold on to the ankles, adjust them any way you like. So you're coming a little closer to the floor with the chest. Now, once you're there, lean into your right butt, straighten the left arm. Lean into your left foot, straighten your right arm. Fingertips, yes. Fold it, and the feet are going to slide forward. And then lower the palms. You can come down onto your chin, same thing, or drop your head to one side. So the weight of the legs, that's what's helping bring the chest and the shoulders down towards the floor. Keep the legs active. Flex the feet or point the toes. And then if you have your head turned to one side, bend your knees, lift a couple of inches so you can switch to the other side. And re-straighten your legs. Okay. And coming out of this is more challenging than getting in. So take your time here. Press into your fingertips. Slide the feet back little by little. So we're lifting the chest. We're reversing our steps. Lean into the right side, release the left arm. Bring it down to the mat. Lean into the left side, release your right arm. Tuck your chin into your chest. We'll straighten the arms, push the floor away. Come to a cat back before we come all the way up. Catch the calves or the backs of the knees. And keep your arms bent. There's a lot more room here. Just lean it back. And then we'll walk the feet together. We'll keep it simple this time. Keep your feet down. We lift the butt, we turn towards the front edge of the mat. Then extend the legs forward. Come to Dandasana, hands to the outsides of the hips. We'll lift, flex your feet. We can even take a step back and swing your hips back in between your arms. And the chest is coming forward, lower yourself down. Breath in, lengthen. Breath out, fold into Paschimottanasana. And we'll point the toes here. Reach your arms up off of the floor, but you're framing your ears, your head is still down. Take your hands back behind you in an interlace. Draw the knuckles back behind you towards the back edge of the mat. Feel the shoulders move. And bring your fingertips to the mat. We're releasing the bind. Palms are facing the back of the mat. We'll lift the chest, bring the palms flat, and come into Purvottanasana. Reverse plank. Toes come down, heels are down, pull up through the arches, draw the shoulders back, lift the chest. Option to drop the head back. Now bend your knees. Bring your hips towards your heels. Take your gaze forward. You're going to feel your wrists big time. In a nice way, hopefully. And then we'll lower the hips. From here, catch hold of the hamstrings. Nice and round, cat back. And we'll lower down one vertebra at a time. So take your time here. Keep your feet connected to the floor. So it's super slow. You have the assist of the arms. And then we'll release the legs. Reach long overhead. Keep your feet up towards the ceiling. And then we'll separate the feet to roll the ankles. Point and flex. Lots of cracks happening here. And then with wide legs, just be aware if you have a ponytail on your head, that's not a big knot in the back of your head. So just slide the hair tie down a little bit so you don't feel any bulge. We'll take the feet back and put them in the hands. So we get a little lift of the hips here. We can bring the feet together. Let the balls of the feet connect to the floor so you're in Halasana, and cup your heels with your hands. And we're going to press the heels into the hands and lift the hips a little higher. So you have a nice stretch through the back, all the way through to the shoulders. Because normally we point the toes, and then as we do that, we pull the shoulders back. This time the hands are on the heels. Hard flex, draw your heels back. So the shoulders move. And then release the tension here. We can lower the spine down towards the floor and come into a nice reclined Pashi. Maybe you flip your toes and the tops of the toes are on the floor. Let your shoulders and your arms just release. You're still in an interlace, it's just the arms are heavy on the floor. And then we'll do that one more time. Tuck your toes under. Lift the hips up. Press your heels back. The arms will straighten. And then we'll soften. Now release the bind of the hands. Your palms are going to face up to the ceiling. The backs of the hands are on the floor. Just transition. Take those toes and tap the wrists or the forearms. And then we'll start to walk the toes of the arms towards the elbow creases. So the compression of your fold gets a little deeper and the vertebrae coming down to the floor. And then we'll come to top. Catch hold of the shins, the whole spine is down, and we can roll this from side to side. And lower your left foot down to the mat, lift your right leg, and we'll cross the right leg over the left. Now, if you want to take this into a full eagle wrap, by all means do that. Take the arms out to a T. We'll lift the legs, so bring your thighs into your chest. We're coming down to a spinal twist. The knees will be close to the left arm. So we're dropping down to the left side. And then you can just wrap that left arm around the legs. Reach to the opposite side with your right hand and turn your head to the right. That's wherever you want to be here, if you're in that eagle, or if you're just stacked on the feet. And then release the left arm. You can use the arms here, press down into the floor. Lift your feet up off the floor and roll that to center. We'll unravel, we'll go wide with the legs. You want to catch hold of the calves and guide the toes down towards the floor. One more hip opener straddle. And if you're feeling comfortable here, slide your toes forward. So it makes more of a straight line, like center split as opposed to a V. Nice. And then we'll bring the knees back together. Lower your right foot. Lift your left leg and we'll cross the left leg over the right. Either a simple cross, an eagle, and then we lift the feet so the thighs come to the chest, T the arms. So we have control here. Use the arms as we lower the knees down. So you're high up towards your right arm. And then you just wrap your right arm around the thigh. All the left fingertips out to the left side and turn your head. So you're looking left. And release your right arm. Lift the feet. Come back through center. Unravel the legs. We'll come to a Supta Baddha Konasana this time. So it's still a hip opener, but not as extreme. We'll bring the heels to the groins, and then you can use the triceps, the elbows to the inner thighs to bring the knees forward. If that doesn't do it for you, you can bring the arches of the feet towards the chest, towards the belly button, and then maybe we come to wrap creases of the elbows to the outer edges of the feet, and then release the spine back down. So if coming to that bind, you're lifting your butt into the ceiling, make sure you bring that butt back down. Sacrum comes down. And then lower your chin. Breathe here. And then release the tension. We'll walk the hands towards the shins, towards the knees. We'll come to one more tuck and we'll roll the ankles, especially if you came into that bind. It's still cracking away over here. Keep your feet up towards the ceiling. Take the arms overhead, just without grabbing the legs. Bring your shins back toward your face. You can lift your hips and let your toes touch your fingers. Then extend the arms a little longer. Extend the toes up towards the ceiling, and then we'll roll right into Shavasana. So keep extending up and out. Take your time here. Arms are still engaged. You're drawing in the opposite direction, so you can be nice and long in the torso. No pressure on that low back, engaging through the abdominals. And then separate the feet until they find the corners of your mat. Once you're there, full breath in. Open your mouth, let it go. Begin to breathe deeply. Wiggle your fingers and toes, starting with small movements. Stay focused on your breath. That sense of peace and calm. And then extend the arms above your head, coming to a full body stretch. Straighten the legs, point your toes, reach your fingers in the opposite direction. And take a slow and steady breath here. Keep breathing in, inhale. So as you're inhaling, you're extending a little bit more, reaching a little farther out, feet and hands. When you're absolutely full of breath, open your mouth and a lion's breath, stick out your tongue, roar it all out, let it go. And hug your shins, grab hold of your shins, hug your thighs into your chest. Take a little rock from side to side. Maybe make a circle here. A little extra back massage. And then allow yourself to find the side, roll onto your right or your left. Whatever feels natural, whatever you don't have to think twice. And then bring yourself up to sit. Connect the hands in prayer, bringing the thumbs up to the third eye. Acknowledging our wisdom through our experience, through our falls, through our attempts. It's not a fail. I don't like that word. I think more of it as a lesson. We learn something every single time something doesn't go right. And we feel as if it isn't right, but ultimately in the long run, in hindsight, everything happens the way it's supposed to propel us, project us forward with a little bit more knowledge, a little bit more confidence, a little bit more wisdom. And bring your prayer to your heart, bow your head, honoring your practice. All of the wisdom that we've accumulated over the years continues to build. It's not to say we know it all, or we're never going to fall on our faces. We do, but at least we're wise enough to know. We pick ourselves up and we keep moving. Lesson learned. Breath in. Let that breath out. Let's breathe in for Om. Namaste.